50-pound bench and first $16 million day. I think I'm reading that correct. It's 1600K. That's the only. No, it's 16 million, bro. It's all right. I don't think it was a typo. Okay. One win is not quitting. If you don't quit, you can't lose. Very true, bro. I had that conversation with myself many times getting started. Um, Tom said tried natives from your advice CBC dropped by over half and CTR is more than 2x. Let's fucking go, dude. Okay, now that the call is officially started, you guys may or may not have seen I posted something in WhatsApp and on the school community about how I'm going to be filming some new content for BBA, and I want to hear your guys' opinion. And I want to use this moment right now to get more opinions from even if you did speak, you can speak again. If you didn't speak, I really want to hear from you. I think the content in BBA, I always think it can be better, always. But I want to create content specifically around a few things myself, but I want to hear what you guys want created inside of BBA. So if we could just take a minute or two, drop it in the chat. There's like, Mark, it's missing like this one thing, or I want more of this, whether that's like AI creatives, maybe a module specifically on like native statics is another thing that I was talking about. So like how to make the native ads, the creatives themselves, how to write the copy, how to position it, how to look at the data. I think that would be a cool one. Um, all of the AI stuff I believe can be a lot better, but I'm wondering like how deep to go because I have to almost take a step back to film some of this content for you guys because I'm building some pretty advanced shit currently, and I build almost everything right now through OpenClaw or most recently Hermes, which is super badass. Um, but yeah, anyways, I'm kind of just yapping. What do you guys want ultimately? This is a program that's not about me, not about any of us. It's about you and getting you results. And then I'll get into the actual like responses and everything. Don't worry. Yeah, natives. It looks like a lot of people are running natives, so maybe like an entire multi-module thing on natives. I spent so much fucking money on native ads, dude. How to train a VA, where to get them, how much to pay them. Okay. Cover more AI, like how to include Claude Code into our business, how to read Shopify/meta analytics. So this is one of the difficult pieces because I'll show you guys how to use Claude Code and how to use Claude Cowork, which is also incredibly powerful. Because a lot of the stuff that I'm doing on like Hermes or on OpenClaw is mostly possible on Claude Code or on Claude Cowork. And you can have everything basically in one subscription. We're basically getting to the point, guys, where you only need a Claude subscription. Like we're just about there. It's Claude and like Higgsfield. I think if you have those two, you're good for like 90% of use cases. If you want to be extra, be extra. I'm extra. I want to have every fucking subscription that there is, and I do. But I'm testing it all so that you don't have to. Um, what else do we got here? Go deeper into how you would launch a brand from scratch with low, medium budget, which creative strategy and creatives you would use when launching a new product. Natives for sure, plus AI, just more from you in general, since your free stuff is already so valuable. Better product research, copywriting, no point about the rest of the copy shit. Listicles, more content. Copywriting 101. I definitely want to do that. Okay, cool. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. This is all saved. So I'll come back to it and we're going to work on building some new shit. Yeah, add account like infrastructure as well. Cool. All right. So the next piece is this is how these calls will work moving forward, guys. You need to fill out this form. I'll drop it in the chat. It was also announced in WhatsApp a few times, and I think on school as well. But if you want to get your data reviewed moving forward, um, you gotta submit this form. The reason why we're doing this is because BBA is growing, and it's getting to the point where I can't review everybody's data. I think it was last week I couldn't get to everybody, and I was like, all right, guys, probably just a few people that I didn't get to. just sending me a message on school. And then I got like 30 fucking messages. Like I think people went and watched the replay and I had to spend so much time reviewing people's stuff. So I want to make sure we build something that is like scalable, you know? Um, but yeah, long story short, we're making a lot of really good adjustments to the program, and I just want to make sure everybody gets the help they need. All right. So with that said, only two people submitted this fucking form, by the way. So shout out to this is like, back in school. Shout out to Fabian and Nils, the only ones getting reviewed. No, I'm kidding. I'm making an exception on this call. Okay. All right, let's go through it though. I'll still read the ones in the chat. You don't have to submit the form, but for every call moving forward, you got to submit the form, unless we just run out of time. Okay, 379 spend. Whoa, 19% CTR, solid. I thought that said CTR link at first. I almost shit myself. 4.98% CTR, 50 cents CPC, 24 CPMs, health and wellness. Also, if you guys make sure to convert everything to USD for me. I only count in bald eagles and glazed donuts. Thank you. All right, health and wellness in Germany, 39.99, including VAT. Okay. Wow, beautiful break-even ROAS, dude. That's going to serve you very, very well in the future. I'm not sure if that's including VAT. Probably not, but still, really good. All right, hey, Mark, this is my second relaunch now for this product with new advertorial, new offer structure. Slightly better than the initial test, but still not good. What do you think is the main constraint for my low CVR and add to cart ratio because my soft metrics look pretty solid? Okay, so what's probably happening is you are falling into the trap of like soft. This may be the case. It's one of two cases. Either number one, you're falling into the trap of like soft metric maxing, I'll call it, which is like trying to max out your CTR all and your CTR link without qualifying the traffic at all. So maybe you're speaking to an awareness level that's way too broad and the funnel isn't lifting enough weight, or you're just getting these curiosity clickers that are coming and they never have any intention of actually purchasing anything from you. It's either that, number one, as quality of traffic, or number two, it's something in your funnel. Obviously, your add to cart rate is not good. I can't see like how many clicks you had or anything, but so I don't actually know your add to cart rate. But if you spent 379 and you got 8 add to carts, that's insane. That's like a $47 cost per add to cart. Jesus. But on the bright side, almost everybody who has a cart actually purchases. So it's very possible it's a quality of traffic issue, which is basically a creative issue and a copy issue, or it is something with your funnel, either the advertorial or the sales page. I know that's like, no shit, but it actually helps to be able to properly delineate the two like that. So let's take a look here and do you know what your advertorial CTR is, Fabian? Oh, wait, you know what? Maybe your add to cart is off because you go straight to checkout, maybe? Nope. Nope, it's just retarded. Okay, cool. Okay, it is really helpful, guys, to be able to see your drop off from every individual funnel step. I told you guys I'm psychotic about data, and I think this is one of the things that is able to help you figure out what the actual issue is. For example, if I look at this advertorial, I think overall it's a super proven structure, so that's probably not the constraint here. I think you could probably be a little bit more specific here in the copy and maybe even tease a mechanism of some sort or tease the product. But it's these are all just my opinions. What I really want to see is like what is the click-through rate from this page to the next? Because how many scrolls do people have to do to get to the CTA? One, two, three, four. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so roughly 15 scrolled. That's not a bad thing, by the way. I'm actually a fan of having your CTA pretty deep in the advertorial because you want to force the consumption. At least I do. Overall, I think this is probably not the constraint here. The copies is good, not great, but I'm guessing that that is probably not the constraint. Okay, so if we look at the ads, that's really what I'm interested in here because a lot of times there's a mismatch between what's on the ads versus what is you know, oh, that was two different things. My bad. Nice, very nice. Son of a bitch. Okay, I just want the fucking copy. All right, I'll just take this initial portion then. Here, I'll share this with you guys so you can see. And if any of this is inaccurate, just let me know. Hmm. So what is the mechanism here? Unless you want me to translate more of this copy, I can do it, but it'll take some time. That's probably the problem, Fabian, right there. If that's not the mechanism, that's not a mechanism. That's a product feature. So let's break it down a little bit more. This is probably a offer structure problem. And I don't view you guys know how it created that offer doc, right? It's one of the foundational docs. I don't view the offer as only like buy one, get one, buy two, get two, blah, blah, blah. I view offer as all the ingredients that go into constructing your persuasive argument for your sales message. Also, people are saying the green CTA is not working. Yeah, sticky add to cart is not working. That's that'll be a nice easy thing to fix right there. God damn it. Test your shit, guys, please. Yeah, it's on mobile too. Like that one works, but the sticky add to cart does not work at all. This is also just not a good sticky add to cart, dude. I don't. Oh, then again, I translated it. Okay, no, it's probably fine. It just looks weird in English. So moving forward, guys, if you are testing advertorials, listicles, any kind of like pre-lander, I would really suggest you give me some more data, specifically advertorial CTR. Good KPI to shoot for is like 25% on that. That should be essentially your bare minimum, and you want to get, of course, above that because if we're viewing this objectively, we could be like, oh, his ad costs are great. The issue is obviously his conversion rate, and Technically that's true, but like your ads can influence your conversion rate. In fact, they sometimes can influence it more than anything because that's the quality of traffic that you're attracting in the first place. And from what I'm seeing here, let me translate like another little piece of this. So I did kind of up to there, go to here. All right, whatever. That'll be enough, hopefully. But I think if that's what you said the mechanism is, then that's not even a mechanism. If you break down a mechanism, it has two pieces. You have the unique mechanism of the problem and you have unique mechanism of the solution. Unique mechanism of the problem is the explanation why everything else that they've ever tried in their entire life has not worked. And it's not really solving the root cause of the problem. And the unique mechanism of the solution is solving that very specific problem. So, for example, like the reason that so many people struggle with plantar fasciitis is because it's targeting like the plantar portion of your foot instead of like the fascia. The fascia is really what causes plantar fasciitis. And so we developed our product that has, oh, fuck, I can't even think of a good mechanism right now, but like fascia support as an example gives you fascia stability, something like that. That's the real unique mechanism of the problem and the solution. And looking at the copy here, you say most people say it's an inflammation problem. Here's a really good example of a mechanism, guys, that's going pretty viral right now on social. Anyone heard this one? Cortisol belly. That's straight fucking marketers being marketers. That is unique mechanism of the problem. Yeah, the mechanism can be different per angle, but I probably would focus on one that's a little bit more advanced. I actually don't even see your unique mechanism of the solution at all. I see you go right from the problem directly into assuming that they know what the solution is. Unless I like missed a piece of the copy, there's something really, really important here that's missing. So I don't think you're crafting a great argument. Long story short, I think your big idea is not super clear. The unique mechanism of the problem and of the solution is not super duper clear. So on a copy side, I think you can be doing better to attract better traffic onto the lander in the first place. The advertorial itself looks pretty solid. Also, guys, I will let you in on a little secret that one of my mentors taught me. When you're, because I studied copywriting for a long time. When you're writing headlines, you kind of have like two main streams of headlines. You have the how-to headlines, and then you have the why headlines. When you start with a why headline, you are starting at an earlier level of awareness. So instead of going directly to people that are already in the solution state, you're targeting people in the problem state. So if we look at why versus how. So in this case, the advertorial, the real reason why plantar fasciitis never heals in over 90% of all patients. So you have to first explain why it doesn't heal. Then you have to introduce your product as the ultimate solution. This is earlier, so like lower level of awareness. You typically have to have longer copy You typically just have to be a better copywriter in general to make these things kind of work because you have to do more convincing. This is even more top of funnel typically than any other kind of headline. How, on the other hand, has a higher level of awareness. It's like a perfect example, like in BizOp, like why you're going to be broke forever if you're in a 9 to 5 versus how to make 10K a month online. They've made one additional leap already if they're in the how bucket. So this is something that you can test out as well. Again, you should know your numbers first before you test anything blindly. Like, is this actually an issue? But this can be another thing that you can do to improve the quality of traffic that's going through to the PDP. Because in the same way that you want to qualify people on the ad, you want to do the same thing in the lander, which means not just trying to have the highest CTR possible in your advertorial. Is this making sense, guys? Like, yes or no in the chat? I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but I think this applies to like a lot of people. So, as an alternative, that's why whoever I was talking about like a few weeks ago on our call, I was like, you guys need to at least tease the solution or the mechanism in the headline, or else it's way too broad. And that's why he added this one. And the one thing that changes that, I'll just make that a little bit more specific. You got to promise some sort of higher level awareness solution, whether that's a mechanism or the product itself, something. All right. So yeah, that's most of what I have to say at this point. I think there's like a structural problem with your copy, and the mechanism definitely needs some work in terms of like the logic of the pieces connecting together. That's why that document that's also in the foundational docs. Foundational docs were created very intentionally, guys. This is not just like a lead magnet that I gave out. This is something that I use internally and just decided to share with people. And then everybody started fucking using it. And it's because I include every single ingredient on there. I include the unique mechanism of the problem and of the solution. I include the big idea. I include the discovery story. I include the level of awareness, stage of sophistication, level of consciousness. I include all the objections, all the beliefs, everything you could possibly need at an incredibly deep level so that you can construct a compelling sales argument. And I think right now the sales argument is probably at a B minus. Um, and you're doing solid. So just imagine if you make some of these changes and then you make your add to cart button work and you're good to go. You're printing. But that's about it that I have for you, bro. Do you think I should continue this product? Um, guys, my thoughts on products is you can make just about any product work. It's just a matter of time and capital. So I do think you can make this one work, but is it worth your time? Your coach is going to know your situation better in this case. Perceived value. Yeah. Yeah, that is a little bit of an uphill battle. Yeah, yeah, probably. But the margins are fantastic. Anyways, that's gonna be it, bro. I gotta move on. Let's go to Nils. Okay. So last 2 days plus today, 272 spend, 24% CTR. Jesus. 2.9% CTR all. Okay. Immediately something going wrong there. 1.24 CPC, 32 CPMs, parents, mothers, big five, $100 price point, two sales, $200 in revenue. So like a sub 1x ROAS here. 1.19 CVR, $94 AOV, 21. Nah, nah, dude. Fuck, dude. Okay, shit. Few issues. Number one, your break-even ROAS for having $100 product to me seems a little bit high. That's probably the least of your worries as of right now. But when I'm looking at this data, 21% add to cart ratio, I want to know where you're getting this add to cart number because there's no fucking shot, dude. Like I'll tell you right now. What you're telling me is that You spent $272, unless maybe it's just low spend and I'm tripping, but let's find out. All right, 272, divide that by 124. You had 219 clicks. So what you're telling me is 21% of those added to cart. That's 45 added to carts. And then 25% of those purchased. That would be a total of 11 purchases. You only had two. That's why there's some breakdown here. Probably in the uh add to cart rate. But the other thing that stopped me up here is look at how different look at the difference between your CTR all and your CTR link. CTR all is 25%. Looks great. Obviously you're running native statics. I don't even have to look. But the ratio from your CTR all to CTR link actually really matters. And it matters because it tells you how good is your hook, which is essentially what your CTR all is really telling you. How good is your hook and how good is your body? How well are you getting all those people that tapped on the hook to read the full copy and actually click the link? And you're at 3%. But more importantly, this is relative. It's not like 3% is good or 5% is good. What is good is a ratio between your CTR all and your CTR link. So what that means in a good bare fucking minimum is like a 5-to-1 ratio of CTR all to CTR link, which would put you roughly at a 4.5 to 5% CTR link target. So that's you're almost about like half of where you need to be. You're a little bit better. You're about like 65% of the way that you need to be, which tells me that your hook is very, very strong, maybe a little bit too strong, maybe getting too many curiosity clickers, and your body's not compensating for it. It's the copy's not strong enough to continue that emotional momentum to the point where they actually click at a good rate. I would say 5-to-1, 5-to-1 minimum. Really 4-to-1, I think is good. Like when I started running native statics, my CTR all was like 15 to 20%, but my CTR link was like 7%. Like that's really, really fucking good. That means there's a really good message match between your hook and your body. And as much as people don't like to say it, writing bodies is hard. It's almost as important as a hook, not in a numerical sense, but from a copywriting perspective, because it's so clear how you can get a good hook. You just test ads, you look at the CTR all, you're like, okay, that's a winning hook. But how do you take that hook and connect it to a winning sales message? That's a lot more difficult. Okay, now let's take a look here. I think I took a look at this last week or the week before, maybe. So for me, I don't know anything about this fucking market, dude. No baby mamas for me. But I don't know. It seems like very high priced for something like this. I know nothing about this, but I don't know if their perceived value is high enough for this. Maybe it is. But let me keep looking here. Ah, okay. Another thing is you're doing native ads directly to a PDP. Okay. Let me ask you guys, what do you think is the problem here? Too long sentences? I don't think the sentences are that long. I mean, you mean like the structure of the paragraphs? Because like that's a sentence. That's a sentence. I actually think the sentence length diversity is really good. Kind of hard to read. Um, hmm What else? First letter. I mean, guys, he's doing this intentionally. Okay, I'm sure you're marketing. I mean, you're marketing to mothers, obviously. You got to be a little bit more careful about some AI copywriting stuff like these M dashes. You got to cut entirely. Super duper small thing, probably not a big deal, but the broader message is that you're marketing to women that are, 25 to 35 years old, 40 years old. They're That's my fucking age. You know, I'm on the lower end, but still, like that's my fucking age. And that's probably a lot of your ages. So if not just a little bit older. And we know, we know AI, especially if they're spending time on social media and spending time writing posts like these. You got to be really careful with that stuff. But I'm sure that's not the constraint. That's a super small thing. What I think you're missing here is there is no mechanism whatsoever. Like, what is the real issue with whatever she was doing before? Why is it that every other thing that she's tried before has failed? It was really just like this super duper emotional story, which granted, dude, credit where credit is due. It's a good story. It's a good story. I would separate these paragraphs though. I'm a really big fan of having 1 to 2 sentences per line. But ultimately, what's most important is like diversity. Like you get them into this flow of like one sentence, one line, one line, one line, one line, 2 lines. But you almost are like lulling them. It should be a little bit hypnotic almost to read. So that will improve the consumption a little bit. Again, that's a really small thing, but that's another structural thing that you can do. I would The issue here is the connection. Like there's immediate resistance that is created, but just saying like try the pump. I almost didn't, and then I tried it, and then everything was good, perfect, no other issues from there on out. Instead, what I would do is make the transition a little bit more smooth here by saying somebody mentioned something called like a Nest Nova pump. So I started researching. And then but even before that, dude, like what is the real unique mechanism of the problem here? There's no buildup of why like everything else that she tried before failed. Which I'm sure if it's a first time mom, she's doing her fucking research. It's a great name, by the way. That's really cool. Yeah, it's going a little bit too deep because this is a very open confessional type post, which means you have to build the story very, very well. I would also test in, contrary to this one, I would test one that's a little bit more direct. So something like, uh, why I will never use a standard breast pump again for my children. Something like that. I also think using fear as a motivator, I don't know if that's common in this market. You know the research better than I do, but I think that can be super duper motivating and a super duper powerful emotion that you can use in your copy. Because you're talking about a pretty specific problem. Like this is really the thing. It's like this, and it doesn't really work very well. Steel broke, milk soaked into my work pants. So yeah, I think that's the main feedback there. In terms of the lander, it does look pretty solid. Your add to cart rate, I think, is pretty atrocious, but naturally that is, because your cost of traffic is so low, so it's not like a super duper big deal, but it's definitely not 21%. It was somewhere up in the chat here. Anyways, yeah. I know it's not a lot of data, but it's my two testing campaign with this product since I fix my traffic and I get better and better results. I'd really appreciate your feedback on my native ads and all your insights on what to improve are greatly appreciated. Question would be, I killed 2 ads already. One that spent breaking CPA and linked in the linked winner that got me the sales, but also spent past breaking CPA after that, so I killed it as well. Do I now make new ads like every day, like 1 or 2? and add them to this campaign, or wait until I stop the whole campaign, create a new strategy for a new testing campaign. You can use the same campaign. Like if it's a testing campaign, you can continue to throw new creatives in there. But make new ads every day, 100%, yes. I personally like launching ads in batches, so I would probably get a batch of like 3 or 4 ads, launch them in one ad set, let them run for a few days, and while they're running for a few days, build more creatives. Yeah, this is really, really unfortunate, dude. Like the if you're selling $100 product, you shouldn't have a break-even ROAS of 1.5. If anything, it should be like way higher, in my opinion. Like you can sell a $30 product for $100 because then you have freaking $70 of margin, $70 of gross margin, and your break-even ROAS is like a 1.3, 1.4. Here you have $50 of margin, but a 1.5. So I ideally would want to have both, like really good gross margins and also really good break even. Because it's like the absolute value and then the relative value. Is it a bad idea to go natives to PDP? Um, that's a good question, dude. I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's a good idea. I think I'm pretty neutral. Because the thing is, many people are not going to read this whole ad before they click. They're just not, which means that in the case that they didn't read every single word, or at least like half of your sales message, they land on this page not even knowing that a product is going to be pitched. So you're going to have a super high bounce rate. Facebook is going to give you even worse traffic. But one of the ways you can pick up that is sending them to a pre-lander. Like in this case, I'd probably do actually a listicle over an advertorial. I think for this market, it would do pretty well, almost like Javi style, listicle or the other fucking Primal Queen has like an advertorial mixed with a sales page. That's really good. Yeah, probably not advertorial. If anything, it would be a listicle, in my opinion. But again, dude, I still think the ads can be better. I would fix both simultaneously. Okay. For those of you guys who showed up a little bit later to the call, please make sure you fill out this form before the call starts so I know I can get to your question. I already dropped it in the chat. I'll drop it one more time here. But I know obviously everybody didn't fill it out because there's only 2 fucking responses on here. Same form every week, yeah. But some other people sent some, so let me see what we got here. Um, is Timo still on here? No. All right. Daniel, you're gonna be up next. Oh yeah, Nate, let me answer that question right now. So Nate asked a question at the beginning. He said, I'm just starting to use Claude Code to automate my workflows, copy, add metric review, research, and was wondering what specific automations you're using with Code or other AI agents. Also, what are your thoughts on peptides? So yeah, the reason I didn't answer immediately is because I wanted to see if that was something of interest for me to cover inside of BBA. And I think it is, but I also think most of you guys are thinking too far ahead because a lot of this AI agent stuff is for automating something that's already working. It's not for like helping you get from 0 to 1. It's more so helping you get from 1 to N. Like you do not need Claude Code at all to really like go from 0 to 1K day. Like definitely not. If you have a Claude subscription, if you have Higgsfield, that's all you genuinely need. Now, if you want to do a little bit faster, like I get it, you could use Claude Code to build some cool stuff. Some things that I built is I basically linked all of my attribution data, I use Hyros with my ad account, with Funnelish. So I have source of truth tracking, and I'm able to basically create custom creative analytics dashboards to show me like really cool trends of my creatives over time. Not simple stuff like win rate, but I can see, yeah, a lot of really cool trends there. And it's truly 100% accurate creative analytics, which is actually incredibly difficult to do if you don't use like Facebook attribution, because I don't. I do a lot of weird shit in the ad account. So most of my numbers post click are completely off. Like I literally do not even look at them. I have scaled campaigns actually with 0 pixel installed whatsoever, like zero. Call it raw dog in the pixel because there's nothing there. Um, so like no conversion events, no page view events, nothing. And I was scaling purely based off of like third party attribution. And it worked for a period of time. But I'm always doing some weird shit like that. So I can't rely on like traditional creative analytics tools because it's all completely inaccurate. I've also tried with Triple Whale, and I did some experimenting with Triple Whale. Triple Whale gets you substantially higher CPMs if you have it anywhere on your website, and sometimes it can even affect the quality of traffic that you get. And I have like a lot of data to back that up. And it's because the way that Facebook works is every time that they are, looking at your website, they're scraping it, they're sending traffic to it, they're looking at all the source code, they look at everything that's on the website. Ah, you fucker, you disabled the right click. um ugh, Fucking sneaky bastard, huh? Anyways, you guys know what it is, right? Right click, view page source. It won't look this clean, it'll be a bunch of shit, but it's looking at data like this, and it's grouping people into buckets based off of their overall user experience with users on Facebook and a number of other factors. And if you think of the average person that uses Triple Whale, it's probably a dropshipper, and dropshippers don't have a great reputation, which means you immediately put yourself in the bucket of a bunch of other dropshippers, and you're going to get penalized with higher CPMs. I find that Funnelish gives me substantially better CPMs. What gives you even better CPMs than anything is just custom coded HTML pages from scratch. So that's why, like, when I'm launching stuff, we start with Funnelish and then we'll build a custom, because then you're not grouped into any bucket whatsoever. So, anyways, that was a little bit of a tangent. Uh, in regards to your question, I think for creating iterations of creatives inside of Claude Code is super duper valuable. I think providing an analysis of creatives that are winning is relatively helpful. I think it's still not great. Sometimes it's a little bit surface level, but if you can use other tools to get deeper analytics into the visuals, like for example, uh, Gemini, Google Gemini launched well, it's not a new model, but it's a new functionality where they actually view videos the same way humans do instead of like 1 frame per second. So that'll give you better analytics into your video ads. You can take their API, link that with your ad account, and you can get really cool insights there. Um, for copy, dude, all my fucking copies AI. I do a little bit of manual review, but only on the important stuff, which would be like the hook or the headline, or that's basically it. Everything else is 100% made with AI, but a Claude project can get you like 90% of the way there. Um, just since I do a lot of volume, that's really where Claude Code comes into help there. And in regards to research, I set up a few scraping tools to research the top TikToks, the top social form, short form posts within various niches to feed me like new angles that I can use every single day. I think it's a little bit overrated. I'd rather use my own data of what it's telling me is working because we test so much. Um, but yeah, like I said, I don't use Claude Code a ton. Um, I actually use, so this is my structure for those that are like nerdy and interested in AI. I actually have two main agents running currently. Let me see what's the best way to visually show this. Man, this is almost like fucking concentric circles, except it's rectangles. Okay, so the first one is either like OpenClaw or Hermes. I recently switched to Hermes literally yesterday. I really like it actually. I think I like it more than OpenClaw. There's like one drawback that to me is pretty minor, but for the most part, I really, really like it. And that's kind of like the wrapper. Like OpenClaw, Hermes, any of these AI agentic tools, it's wrapping some sort of LLM. That's all it really is. And so the LLM that I typically wrap is going to be Claude Opus 4.6 for all the orchestration. And then anytime there's delegation to a sub agent or anything like that, it's running on Sonnet 4.6. But if this is like what it's wrapping, then I basically have another wrapper where it runs where it runs Claude code. So it's like I guess it'd be like kind of like this. So the first wrapper is Hermes, and that's wrapping Opus 4.6, and Opus 4.6 doesn't really wrap Claude Code, but it's the one actually running Claude Code. So I actually use Claude Code all the time. I just don't use it myself. My agent uses it way more than me. That's like the structure that I use. Why do this instead of just go directly to Claude Code? Well, you can go directly to Claude Code. I just like there's a lot of back and forth in between my agent and Claude Code. And I can avoid a lot of that back and forth by just having my agent handle the communication compared to me. And then I just speak through the agent, through the OpenClaw or Hermes wrapper. So anytime that I'm building something new, building new automation, it's me going through Hermes to the LLM, and then the LLM goes to Claude Code. Claude Code builds it, sends me a message that it's built through Opus. I look at it, I review, I give feedback, and then it's like, this is basically my project manager, and this is my software developer, and that's the structure that I use. I've also built a lot of media buying automations because that's one thing that I never understood why people didn't build stuff to do this. When you're at scale, you're cutting a lot of ads throughout the day. Like I give creatives a very, very short string to actually perform. If it doesn't perform, that very fucking cent, I cut it. And you can set up these automated rules on Facebook, but they're all dependent on Facebook attribution. So I was like, fuck, I don't use Facebook attribution. I have to use Hyro. So I had to build some custom automations there. That works really, really well. Because the cool thing is you can set up, they're called crons on these agentic tools like Hermes and OpenClaw. They run at a set time every single day or every week, whenever you want them to run. And they can be pretty complex logically to actually fire. And they still work almost flawlessly 24/7 with zero cost associated with it. It's like if you compare that to like I could have built it on Zapier or Make or N8N even, I guess. But then it would have been like just forking up credits all the time or paying for Zapier's stupid fucking plan. Now you can just connect to anything that you want and it's very reliable and you can do pretty complex stuff with it. So I think hopefully that answered some of your questions. I mean, creative production, creative analytics, media buying, and landing page creation. That's probably like the four main areas that I have built stuff inside of Claude Code to be able to consistently churn out new material. And in regards to peptides, I think peptides are great, man. I think peptides are great. I've been interested in peptides in 2020. I took my first peptide in 2023. So yeah, I know they're like blowing up, but I've been using them for multiple years. I've known about them for even longer than that. Um, I still think what goes farther than almost anything is just having a psycho ass fucking mindset about life. Like no peptide is gonna fucking come close to that. I think even anabolic steroids wouldn't come close to that. Like just your own fucking mindset. You guys would be shocked what you can do when you just are insane, when you're just mentally fucking insane. You'd be surprised. My favorite peptides though, BPC 157 actually didn't work that great for me. I have severe tendonitis in my knees, and I have been unable to get it fixed. Being a psycho has not fixed that for me yet. But I know I have it in my fridge. Simax and Selenk I've taken. I think that's probably the best nootropic that there is, unless you're gonna go the pharmacological route and fucking you know, take modafinil or armodafinil or Adderall or something like that. And I I'm transparent, dude. I don't want to fucking take that shit because I think I would like it too much and I would get addicted to it and I would get too much done. No, I'm kidding. I think it would ruin my fucking life actually. All right. Do you have another PC for Hermes Agent? Also, no, I run both of the agents on the same machine. What about the checkout in the back end? Oh, for research scraping, I use Sonnet, of course. What about checkout and the back end? I don't know what that's referring to. For the landers, I mean, right now for building landers with AI, pre-landers are super easy. If you want to build one into Shopify, you have to get a specific skill on Claude or Claude Code or OpenClaw, whatever you're using. Checkout, I mean, I think that's what these platforms are turning into. Shopify for me is just a checkout platform and a customer CRM for the most part. All right. Let me quickly. How do those work on you, Simex and Selink versus other stimulants? Yeah, dude, that's perfect. That's perfect, Alex. Um, Selink and Simex, I think they're pretty good. I think the best stimulant still is like caffeine and nicotine, but severe trade-offs with both of those, especially nicotine. Okay, Alex and Lars, I want to make sure I get to you guys before I go. I do have a hard stop rate at 2 p.m. today, so Lars, I'll do you first, and then we'll go to Alex. You guys, make sure to submit the form next time, please. Okay, dude. First off, let's get some W's in the chat for Lars. Hit his first 1K day yesterday, and maybe another one today. Definitely another one today. Write it in stone. Okay, 1.3K in spend. Time frame is last 7 days. Um, Everything looks pretty good there. A little bit of an elevated CPC for Norway. I think you can get sub $1, but I'm guessing your conversion rate's great. Let's see. Yeah, it's 3%. I bet it's higher than 3%. You're at 2.6 ROAS, 1.7 break even. Fuck. Damn, bro, the break even is just. I'm guessing that's including VAT, right? Please tell me that's including VAT. Okay. Makes me feel a little bit better. Golly, bro, but you got to get a 2.6 say ROAS for 20% margin. All right, fuck it. We'll figure it out. I mean, in terms of feedback, bro, I would say probably allocate a little bit more budget to testing creatives to try to get that link CPC down just a little bit. But your AOV is very solid. Actually, hold on. Your conversion rate is so good for that AOV. Not so good. It's makes me feel a little bit better. So, mhm. Dude, you're kind of at the stage where you spend 1.3K in the last 7 days. It's basically $200 a day. You just need to do more. You're at the stage where to go from a 2.6 to a 2.8 ROAS or to increase your scale, you just have to do more, right? You have 3 or 4 winning creatives, double it. So in order to double it, how many creatives do you have to test? Well, how many creatives do you have to test in order to get one winner? If it's like 30%, then you need to basically test 3 times the amount of creatives that you're testing right now because your conversion rate for $100 AOV, I really think is pretty solid, man. 3% conversion rate, really pretty good. I would push a little bit harder on the creative side. That's the best advice I can give you for the time that I have, man. Unless you have any other specific questions. And now let me grab. Yeah, bro, just do more. At some stages, I mean, I love this quote from Hormozy. It's like do more until more stops working, then do better. Then when better starts working, do do different or something like that. I think I just butchered that, but all right, Alex, let me get yours here, bro. Okay. What's the? Oh, Jesus. Where'd you get this number, bro? So I'm seeing 600 spent last 4 days plus today. Really good CTR link. Really, see, this is the ratio I'm talking about. That's almost a 50% fucking ratio of CTR all to CTR link, which would be 2 to 1. Remember how I said 5 to 1? That's 2 to 1. Okay, if you're getting it from Microsoft Clarity, are you excluding like bot sessions because you may be getting some of those? What are your CPM? Ah, fuck. CPM's still a little bit high. Okay, if you know that this is actually your advertorial CTR, advertorial is legitimately probably the constraint for you. Hey, you know what? Respect, dude. Respect. The classic "they laughed when I" headline swipe. Yeah, yeah. Really good. One of the greatest headlines of all time. Okay. Overall, I think that this is probably not the headline you should use for an advertorial, dude. This is everything that I said earlier about advertorials, actually, I think applies very much so to you. So I think we can still work with this, though. I would do it before and after here, number one. I know it's a little bit more aggressive, but it is effective. Sub headline sucks, respectfully. It sucks. It's not doing anything. Like maybe this is a tiny, tiny open loop, but this is your opportunity to take an amazing headline and get them a little bit deeper down the sales process with introducing what is this product? It's just like is it like a serum? A stick, calcium balm. Okay. Another thing, bro, this is a hyper aware market. Skincare, extremely aware. So I don't know if I see that. I mean, a little bit with this, mentioning the other alternative solutions. Fuck, I gotta go. Um, all right, you can actually send me a message on school. I have more to say. I'm sorry, guys. I have a hard stop right at 2. I didn't realize the time, but I hope you guys enjoying the call. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
Recording.